I sit in a cold hallway of Barnsley College University Centre, Barnsley, and I feel the stale scent of coffee wrap around me like a damp blanket. It is a smell that tells me the building cares more about serving lukewarm beans than caring for its students. The air is heavy and the lights flicker as if they are too tired to shine. I glance at the timetable on the wall and it has changed again today. Yesterday it said one thing, the day before it said another, and no one has told me why. This constant shifting is a problem because it destroys my sense of order. When a schedule is not stable, I cannot plan my study time, I cannot arrange my work, I cannot keep my social life. The chaos leads to anxiety and I feel my heart race each time I check the board for a new class time. My inbox is a graveyard of unanswered emails. I have written many messages to lecturers and each one disappears into the void for weeks. This is a problem because when a student asks a question and receives no answer, the mind fills the gap with doubt. Doubt makes me think I am not smart enough, it makes me feel invisible, and it drags my motivation down. The lack of response also shows that the staff do not respect our time or our effort. Respect is the foundation of any learning relationship, and without it, the bond breaks. I sit in a lecture that feels more like a rehearsal. The tutor stands at the front, eyes glued to a screen, speaking in a monotone that makes my eyelids heavy. I have heard this same voice in other rooms. I tell myself that maybe the teacher is tired, but then I notice that the content is old, the slides show theories from a decade ago, and there is no link to the real world. Outdated material is a problem because it does not prepare me for the jobs that exist today. It traps me in a past that never mattered to me. It also shows that the college does not invest in fresh knowledge, which means they are cutting costs at the expense of education. When I raise my hand, the tutor looks at me as if I have disturbed a delicate painting. He sighs, he mutters, and he returns to his laptop. That reaction tells me he is overworked and perhaps undertrained. An overworked lecturer cannot give me proper feedback. Feedback is the mirror that shows where I can grow. When the mirror is cracked, I cannot see my own reflection, I cannot improve, and I stay stuck. The grading system feels arbitrary, the marks appear without comment, and I am left to guess why I received a low score. Arbitrary grading destroys trust, it makes me feel that my effort is meaningless, and it encourages me to give up. The support services are a myth. I walk to the counseling office and find a sign that says closed for renovation. I call and hear a recorded voice that says please leave a message. No one calls back. When I finally speak to a staff member, she tells me that mental health support is limited because the team is stretched thin. This is a problem because students experience stress, and without proper help, the stress can become a heavy weight that crushes confidence. It also shows that the college does not care about our well-being, and that lack of care spreads like a cold in a crowded hall. The building itself is a bleak stage. The walls are painted a dull gray, the windows are small and let in little light. The temperature is low, my fingers go numb, and I feel my spirit shrink. A cold and dim environment makes it hard to concentrate, it lowers the mood, and it tells the brain that learning is a chore rather than a joy. The smell of stale coffee adds to the gloom, reminding me that the place is more a cafe than a center of knowledge. I think of the promise that Barnsley College University Centre, Barnsley made to be a university center, a place of higher learning. Instead, it feels like a sixth form college with inflated egos. The word center feels like a joke because the resources are basic, the staff are stretched, and the ambition is missing. When an institution lies
out its identity, it betrays the trust of its students. Trust is the glue that holds any community together, and without it, the community crumbles. I write these words like a diary, as a young girl from an old Soviet land, raised among books and poetry, now forced to navigate this maze. I have resources, I have connections, I expect excellence, and I deserve respect. Yet I am met with silence, with chaos, with neglect. I feel like a character in a tragic play, watching the curtain rise on a stage that offers no applause. Do you see the pattern? Do you feel the injustice? I ask you, dear listener, to share your thoughts, to tell me you understand, to join me in calling out.
You know, it's really something. The things you come across when you start digging into the area around Barnsley College University Centre in Barnsley. I mean, it's like you walking down the street, minding your own business, and bam, you caught up in some scam you didn't even see coming. Take, for instance, this QR code business. It's like people are trying to pay for their stuff, right? They see a QR code at the counter, think it's legit, and scan it with their phone. But guess what? It's a trap. The money goes straight to some scammer's pocket, and the shop's none the wiser. I can only imagine the sinking feeling in their stomach when they realize what's happened. They probably calling their bank in a panic, hoping to reverse the charge, while the scammer is off laughing, counting their easy money, and the shop. They just as much a victim, losing trust and maybe even customers. Then there's this story about a woman's bank card getting stolen on Peel Street. I mean, 1 minute you paying for your dinner, the next, someone swiped your card and gone on a shopping spree. It's like your card on a wild adventure without you, buying who knows what. The victim probably frantically checking her account, seeing all these charges she didn't make, while the thief is living it up. But karma's a funny thing, you know. I bet the thief got caught on CCTV. And now they sweating, waiting for the police to knock on their door. And don't even get me started on the illegal tobacco sales. You think you getting a deal, but really, you just funding some shady operation. The shopkeeper in Goldthorpe thought he could get away with it. But look where that got him community service, and his shop got shut down for months. I wonder if he regrets it now, sitting at home, watching his business suffer because of his own greed. It's just sad, you know. These scams, they like a dark cloud hanging over Barnsley College University Centre. It's not just about the money lost, it's the trust that's broken. When you a tourist, you want to enjoy your 2 weeks, not worry about getting scammed at every turn. It's like, can we just have a nice time without someone trying to rip us off? But hey, maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe these stories will make people more careful, more aware of their surroundings, and maybe, just maybe, the scammers will realize that in the end, honesty is the best policy. A girl can dream, right?
The businesses near Barnsley College University Centre are frankly disappointing. If you're expecting quality service, reasonable prices, or even basic competence, prepare to adjust those expectations downward. The area suffers from a persistent pattern of neglect, poor management, indifferent staff, and a general lack of care that seeps into every customer interaction. Let's break it down so you know exactly what you're walking into. Take the gyms here, for example. They're overcrowded, poorly maintained, and somehow still manage to feel lifeless. Pure Gym Barnsley is the perfect case study. Members complain about headaches from the harsh lighting, toilets that are perpetually out of order, forcing desperate gym-goers to sprint to Tesco instead, and a staff that seems more interested in their phones than the people paying to use the facility. The air conditioning, a myth, the atmosphere, like a rundown nightclub with no music, just the distant screams of fitness classes bleeding through the walls. If you enjoy waiting in line for machines while someone films a TikTok, this is your place. If not, maybe jog outside. Then there's the food scene, which oscillates between overpriced disappointment and outright incompetence. Market Kitchen is a bizarre experiment in how many ways a dining experience can go wrong. Cocktails made with semi-skimmed milk instead of coconut, curries with portions so small you'd need a microscope to find the meat, and service so indifferent you'd think the staff were being held against their will. One reviewer watched helplessly as an employee laughed at her struggle to set up a high chair while pregnant. Another had their breakfast order vanish into the void, only to be told, after 40 minutes, that someone else had taken their replacement meal. The running theme, a complete disregard for the customer. And if you're looking for retail therapy, flannels will test your patience before you even make it past the door. The staff here have developed a reputation for hostility, demanding customers remove hoodies without warning, refusing returns on unworn items, and even yelling at people for filming outside the store. One shopper compared the experience to discrimination, wondering aloud if they'd dare ask a Muslim to remove a headscarf. The older blonde manager appears in multiple reviews as the common villain, radiating disdain like a personal brand. Vinyl Underground Records offers a rare glimmer of niche appeal, but even here, trust is an issue. Sellers accuse the owner of lowballing them on purchases, only to flip records at a steep markup. It's not illegal, but it's certainly not the way to cultivate loyalty. Finally, there's the Salt House, where the concept of service seems to be a loose suggestion. Bottomless brunches here are anything but. Guests report waiting half an hour between drinks, receiving partial food orders, and being met with shrugs from management when things go wrong. One family celebrating a birthday watched as their waiter ignored them entirely, too busy chatting with co-workers to notice their empty glasses. Another group had their Christmas ruined by microwave dinners and a manager who offered them a refund lunch.